Thank you for joining us for the first Microsoft 365 Dynamics user group meeting. We're really excited to have you here. For those who don't know me, I'm Andres Cano with NGenious Solutions. I run our PMO team and I manage our delivery practice here in the United States. Some of you may remember that years ago, our team actually ran the SharePoint user group out of Microsoft's New York office. And what we found is that group became a thriving community where we all learned from one another. And it helped a lot of organizations make their SharePoint journey successful. We are seeing the same type of momentum happening now around Dynamics 365. More and more customers are making the move, just like before. We want to build a strong community, a place where we can share information, support each other, and make the platform successful for everyone. Our vision for this user group is simple. We want to create a forum that brings together business leaders, IT professionals, and Dynamics practitioners to share real experiences, solve challenges, and celebrate wins. We plan to host these sessions quarterly to start, and eventually we'd like to run them both virtually and in person. Unfortunately, some last-minute logistics meant this first meeting had to be moved to virtual only. But the goal is to have that mix going forward so we can connect face-to-face as well. Before we dive in, I want to take a moment to introduce our two speakers for today. We have Louis Gucciardo, who is a technology specialist at Microsoft and also one of the co-hosts for this user group. And then we have Hemant Gaur, who is a principal PM architect for Power Apps at Microsoft. We're very grateful to have them here to share their insights. Before I hand things off, I'd like to give you a quick introduction to NGenious so you know who's behind today's event. So NGenious was founded back in 2005 in New Jersey. And over the years, we've grown to support customers not just in North America, but also in Asia, the Middle East, and Europe. We have offices in the US and India, along with satellite locations in Florida, North Carolina, and Texas. We supported more than 500,000 users, delivered over 270 projects, and served over 175 customers globally. Many of those customers have been with us for over a decade, which we're really proud of. At our core, NGenious focuses on enterprise collaboration, cloud, ERP, process automation, and business intelligence. We help organizations modernize and simplify their technology environments, whether that's through Dynamics 365, Microsoft 365, ServiceNow, or cloud solutions. Now, when it comes specifically to Dynamics 365, we provide end-to-end services, implementation to design and deploy the right solutions for your business, integration with your existing systems to improve efficiency and reduce cost, upgrades and migrations from older platforms like CRM, AX, Great Plains, or Nav, customization to tailor Dynamics to your business processes, and support with flexible models that keep systems running smoothly. We work onshore, offshore, and hybrid delivery models. So that means we can scale to meet client needs while delivering high value at a lower cost. Our mission is to be more than just a vendor. We aim to act as an extension of our clients' teams and ultimately become their partner. That's a little bit about who we are and why we're so excited to help launch this dynamic user group. With that, let's jump into the content for today. I'd like to hand it over to Lou, who will kick off our first session. Lou, the floor is all yours.
Thank you. I'm going to share my presentation. What I'm going to talk about is AI transformation in sales. We originally had a speaker who was going to talk about Copilot for sales, and Copilot for sales is what we refer to as a role-based Copilot, which actually works in line with the salesperson to automate their role using artificial intelligence. There we go. We were not able to schedule that. So I'm going to flip that a little bit. We're still going to talk about sales transformation, but I'm going to talk about it more from a business standpoint and how we look at transforming sales. And I look at this through a lens of a 3-horizon map. The horizon 1 being a focus on personal productivity for the salesperson. Horizon 2 being expanding that impact of AI from the individual into the department. And Horizon 3, further expanding that to the enterprise. We think about things in a 3-horizon time frame because it enables us to, one, first and foremost, initiate AI into the workforce. And one of the trends that I've seen over and over and over again in the clients I deal with is that initial adoption of AI, getting everyone in the organization to understand how to use AI has been a pretty steep curve. And what we want to do is we want to start with very basic, very quick wins that enable the individual to incorporate the technology day to day. Some people refer to this as crawl, walk, run. Of course, we want to be a little bit fancier, so we refer to it as a 3-horizon. And I'll walk through some of this for you. It's 26 slides, but I will not go through 26 slides, I promise you. We begin with the individual and how do we enhance their productivity? And really the objective here is, one, enabling salespeople to sell. Studies after studies, and you can do some research on it, say as much as 80% of a salesperson's time is on internal meetings, paperwork, processes. It's taking them away from doing their job. So the first horizon we want to look at is, how do we take that mundane work, that iterative work, away from them, simplify it, make it as quick as possible so they can focus on what they really need to do, and that is selling. I don't know why this is showing up here. All right, we got to edit that. The first set of use cases, as mentioned, is around personal productivity. Think about things like that ability to triage your inbox. You get hundreds of messages. I know I get hundreds of messages a day. And what AI can do is AI can say, hey, this message is a customer. This is a customer who needs information. This is a customer who has a request. This is a customer who has a complaint, whatever that may be, and bring that up to the top of your inbox so that that can be accessed very quickly by you. You're pushing the mundane stuff down to the bottom. Being able to access knowledge just in time. So as an example, a customer has a question. I'm able then to, right from Copilot, search all the knowledge in my organization. And I do this very frequently. We have internal information on products. And the customer asks a question, I can very, very quickly get that information and get them back out to them. Meeting preparation is another. So in Teams, we can summarize meetings. We can build action plans, action items from meetings. We can take all that meetings and summarize them and build efficiencies there. So these are all ways that a salesperson can use artificial intelligence to make their individual workflow more productive. A very common one is around what we used to call tear sheets. I'm going into a meeting and I need to know the information about a customer. Right before, there was a lot of prep involved with that. Now it's less so about prep, it's more so about having a few prompts. And I've got colleagues who, even just driving to a meeting, you can, with Copilot, ask Copilot a question. And the question might be, hey, I'm going to go see X YZ. I'm going to go see this person. I'm going to go see this company. What do I need to know to prepare for this meeting? And Copilot will come back and say, well, this customer has 3 pending service tickets. This customer last purchased XYZ. These are some of the products that we think you should propose to them. So many, many different ways that we can enable AI to help a salesperson. Understanding that their own personal analytics and pipeline insights. So as a salesperson, you might be managing dozens of opportunities. How do you know if an opportunity is stuck? Artificial intelligence is one way of being able to do that. So you can build a prompt that goes through all of your opportunities and makes a suggestion as to which ones you should be working on, triaging those opportunities. We have something built into the Microsoft Graph. We refer to it as social distance. And you can use social distance to calculate things like, hey, I've got this opportunity. My contact for this opportunity is this person. I haven't talked to this person in 3 months. No one in my team has talked to this person in 6 weeks, yet this opportunity says it's going to close next week. That's a big red flag. So when you're dealing with dozens of opportunities, being able to bring those things up to the top is very, very helpful. Being able to triage opportunities, as well as being able to triage new leads is another way that we can use AI. So we can look at your lead pipeline, we can analyze with AI and almost mark them as which are the most probable leads that you should be focused on. We talked a little bit before about meetings, but also about note-taking and being able to update your CRM. CRMs are wonderful tools, but they tend to suffer with lack of adoption. And how can we make that much, much easier for the salesperson? And one of the ways we do that is through voice translation. So instead of entering into a CRM, I could talk to the CRM, and the CRM will then propagate all of the information for me. These are projects that I've worked on many times in the past. How do I do integrations? How do I bring data from other systems into a CRM system? AI is wonderful at being able to take information, sort it, bring it into a common data set, and then migrate that information in. So it's a way of automating data flows. Our Horizon 1 really was focused around making the salesperson themselves more productive. The next horizon we were going to look at is what can I do to on a departmental level? And we begin to broaden the scope of our impact with artificial intelligence. A couple of use cases we can talk about are pipeline management. And that's on a much broader scale. That's not giving me as an individual insights into my pipeline. It's the organization being able to use things like machine learning and predict the outcomes of these opportunities. And one of the things that I work a lot in manufacturing, and one of the things we see a lot in manufacturing is the sales forecasting is really the front end of the entire production system. The salesman's forecasts go into our ERP system, which drive the manufacturing, and often see error rates of 10, 12, 15%. And that affects the entire supply chain. So how can we forecast better? If we're able to forecast better, we're able to lower our inventory costs, we're able to manufacture more efficiently. So these are critical elements where we can improve not only the salesman and their department, but we can have an effect on the entire organization. Forecasting accuracy, I just mentioned, and having these conversational interfaces around data. There's massive, massive amounts of data being generated, not only from a sales perspective, but as I said, sales affects the entire supply chain. There's very often conversations that go on with finance, and tons of information. So I'm negotiating a price as a salesperson. I need to have my deal desk involved. I need to have finance involved, and just generates an overwhelming amount of information. Can I have conversations with this? Can I ask questions about what's my empowerment? What can I offer? What have I offered to this customer in the past? What have they accepted? What have they rejected? You take this process that is very, very difficult and very hard to operationalize to the point where you can make it simple and easy and much more efficient, and potentially drive higher margins through that. As a salesperson, many organizations have automated lead generation. So they may have different services that they use. They may have an internal sales team, and a salesperson can get this influx of different leads. So how do you qualify these leads? Often it's a case where you've got to physically go through all the leads, read through them, look up the person on LinkedIn. One of the big problems is this consolidation of information, and you might get in a very large international organization that has 20 different companies. How do you know which companies are related to who? How do you know where to route this? What's the correct salesperson? And this is something that AI is wonderful at. We can have it go back and reference existing histories of the customers, of the listing of the different organizations within an enterprise, and it can do all of that automatically, routing the lead to the proper person, understanding, and in my case, there's always a technical aspect to what I'm doing. Microsoft has hundreds, if not thousands, of products. I don't know all of them, so I've got to be able then to figure out where this lead goes, what person, and AI has been amazing at helping me do that. This is something that's fairly new. It's AI and using AI to do training. And we've recently rolled this out in our organization, and it's an amazing opportunity to make training available to more and more people. So as an example, I need to be certified in different products. I need to be certified in just pretty much all the Microsoft products at a very high level, not at a detailed level. So we just had a security course, and my instructor was an AI bot. So it's a person who appears, they'll ask me questions, and I have to answer the questions, and they're able to interpret whether or not that question is correct, and they're also able to coach me. Says, hey, Lou, this wasn't correct. Maybe you should go think about X, Y, and Z, or need you to do some research here. Here's the content I need you to read. So it's really a fabulous opportunity. Imagine having your own tutor for really whatever the topic can be. These are becoming more and more commercialized, but these are also something I've seen clients build because it can give them an advantage. You have certain products that are very highly specialized, and what you can do is bring that training up to a level that you can't get generically.
Hey Lou,
Yes.
so I just want to give you a heads up on a gentle 5-minute reminder.
Okay, absolutely. So I'll go through this real quickly. Thank you. For sales process automation at departmental level, we're looking at how do we automate all the various processes within an organization. And generating proposals and quotes. And this is something that is very, very time consuming for salespeople. With artificial intelligence, we can ingest these forms in, the proposals, or the RFPs, the RFIs, whatever those might be. Use AI to research and bring in the information. You then review the information, and you're able to do RFPs in a fraction of the time that used to take in the past. And something that we do here very, very regularly. And I've built several of these for clients. And then we'll go into all of these use cases as we're running out of time. Horizon 3 is now we go on to transform on an enterprise level. And this is more about how do I do predictive sales analysis. As I mentioned before, it's very, very important for organizations to have their sales predictions be very accurate, because that drives production. With AI, we've seen accuracy increase order of magnitudes. And we can do things like not only take internal signals, but external signals. Working with a manufacturer who manufactures things that you would use in your home, building materials. And so we're able to look at things like weather patterns, right? If we think the weather is going to be disruptive in some place, all the way down to micro weather forecasts, right? Hail. We're able to bring those into our predictive models, right? We know that there's going to be a hurricane. We know that there's thunderstorms, what have you. That's going to affect how we predict our sales in this region, and that rolls up and allows us to produce more product. So when these things happen, we have enough to fill demand. Proactive customer retention is an interesting one. Based upon patterns that we see with AI, we can do what we call a churn analysis, and we can figure out which clients could be at risk, what clients we might be losing, and we can build remediation plans for that. So my time is running out. I'm not going to go into detail into a lot of this, but I think this gives you an idea of different ways that we can use artificial intelligence to transform sales. And our methodology here is we begin with the individual. We want to try to get quick wins. We want to automate the individual's workflows, giving them more time to sell. But we also want to get them involved in using AI on an everyday basis. From the individual, we move to the department. We begin to automate business processes. From the department, we move to the enterprise, and we begin looking at predictive patterns. How do we improve our marketing? How do we improve our sales mix, right, to increase our P&L? How do we do better forecasting for accurate production scheduling, what have you? I didn't talk about product here at all, but there's a whole continuum of Microsoft product, starting from things like Copilot chat, all the way up to Microsoft Dynamics ERP, finance and operations, sales, field service, all which have this AI, these agents built into them. So, all right, Nilesh, that was my 10-minute tour of AI in sales.
Thank you, Lou. I appreciate that. A lot of interesting information there. I would definitely like to see a follow-up demo on some of these things in action. Like you said, I mean, just from a dynamics perspective, keeping track of the sales and the process through a sale, and again, it impacts adoption, right? We ourselves have challenges with that sometimes. So maybe using some of that voice and AI features to kind of help you keep that information updated, definitely helpful. So maybe something we could look at in the future. With that being said, now we'd like to hand it over to Hemant. So Hemant, thank you. Floor is all yours.
Awesome. Thank you. Can you guys hear me? Okay.
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
Awesome. So let me go ahead and share my screen. So I'll start with a quick intro for the folks who don't know me. I am Hemant. I am PM architect on Power Apps team. I've been with the group for 17 years now. This is my 18th. So kind of have seen like the whole journey of Power Platform / Dynamics evolving over these years. I'm gonna innovate with AI in low code topic on how Power Platform can help organizations with their digital transformation journey and adoption of AI. So just a quick refresher, Power Platform is the foundational platform for Dynamics sales, service, and multiple first-party apps. For the folks like, I understand like most of the folks here are from Dynamics 365 audience. So the platform offers and provides a lot of baseline capabilities on which these different enterprise products are built. So I'm going to cover the AI capabilities in the core platform, which are available out of box or are available for customizations in the Power Platform and organically because the Dynamic Sales is built on top of platform. All of you and your customer should be able to utilize those features. So I'll start with the agents. That's like the main focus area for our group. At Microsoft, we believe that AI agents are completely going to transform the way we work. So there is a human worker who has a sales manager or a salesperson, in the sales scenario, who has one Copilot as its assistance, which is M365 Copilot, aware of your emails, documents, chats, meetings, rest of the data in the substrate, along with the team of agents, which would help humans focus on the work which really needs human attention, a lot of mundane, repetitive, or the tasks which can be done with some guidance to the AI systems will be taken over by the AI agents. And we want to do it at scale. So across humans, there is collaboration between humans and agents to get overall, work done in a more efficient manner. There is a prediction by analyst IDC that there will be 1.3 billion agents by 2028. This seems to be like a really high number, but if you think about it, like, for your day-to-day tasks, like, sending an email or go follow up with a customer. I received a proposal for a quote. Do I have it in my inventory? If those kind of processes can be automated by agents, even if you think about 10x agent for a single person, this number, looks within a reach. So agents, as Bill Gates also said, they are going to completely upend the software industry. So this will be like a big revolution as we move from typing to clicking on icons. The agentic world where agent overtake a lot of work which humans are spending their time on, the whole industry will be transformed by it. Fortune also published that it is the new operating system on the how world is going to operate. So that's the core way we are thinking about our business apps for the future. So one can argue like apps are dead because that's the way which facilitates to do actions. Historically, that's the way we have been developing apps. Today, I'll present a case that, apps are going to still be there and probably they are more important than ever. But the actions or the way we interact with app definitely is going to fundamentally change. And that's where the platform is kind of making a move towards that direction. So from the current focus for the app to get the work done, a button for qualifying a lead or closing an opportunity or creating a code, moving to the world where the humans use the app as a place to oversee the work which is primarily done by agents. Of course, this is not gonna happen overnight, but from the platform and the product perspective, that's the direction we are marching towards, and we are enabling our users and customers to have full control as they imbibe this journey along with us. So these agents have access to the systems, right? Not only the Dataverse in case of Dynamics 365, SharePoint, right? Substrate and multiple connectors within the Power Platform ecosystem or your custom data sources. All these things are available to agents. Technically, they can do everything a human can do, but how do we enable them incrementally and provide them more autonomy and confidence and training to be in a position where humans don't have to spend a lot of time looking at them, and they can kind of treat them like a human, where the agents are trained and tuned and taught over time to take over more and more work, so that humans can focus on the work which needs more sophistication or more human oversight. So tasks done by agents, as we add more agents to the system, they'll be managed by people. There are times when agents cannot complete the work, and it's gonna be probably more time than we anticipate in some cases, right? Agent might need the input from a human, that this is a new condition. I haven't seen this. Can I approve or disapprove? Or it can ask that, while creating a quote for the customer, I see that this item is not in the inventory, right? And then I cannot order because of some fault. I need a human help, right? So having a plane or a agent feed, which is gonna evolve into a more richer agent hub kind of experience, where agents can notify the humans, or humans can see what different agents are doing, like in a one single place, and help agent assist them to complete the job. Very similar to this concept of a entire Power Platform acting as a agent platform as we evolve. So Copilot Studio is the place where you build your agents today. You have out-of-box agent shipped via first-party apps like sales and service, agent for lead qualification or lead nurturing follow-ups. So those agents, along with the custom agents you can develop to cater to your custom business processes inside Power Apps, can be developed in Copilot Studio. And once you create those agents can be monitored within your Power App. So there is a place, I'll show those features in the coming slides, where all these multiple agents created for the business process can be attached to an app, and a human using the app can see the progress of all these agents, which are relevant to that particular app. So agent can not only run the automations and connectors, which was like a legacy capability in the system, but now they have more powerful AI specific capabilities. So they have access to data and knowledge, and using a natural language, you can build those agents. And some of the flows, like, here is a leave approval manual or guidelines for my company. I should be able to use that as a data into the agent, so that when the human asks a question about, certain leaves and the policies, given that we have trained or added this knowledge to the agent in a natural language can respond to humans. So just imagine like amount of saving which can be done just with like this, two-step process of add a file and enable it in the chatbot, right? Multiple tools are available now within MCS and through AI Builder. Those can be added together. So everything is built on top of managed platform, which, definitely remains to be one of our core value prop, that as admins or IT managers for the systems, you have control on what apps are being built, what AI capabilities are being used, where are the places I need to pay attention to, can I control the the data and different connectors in my system. Everything comes as part of the core platform. So I'll double click a little bit more on working with the agents in this new app world, right? Which is like increasingly coming more and more mainstream. I'll give an example of, my first car, which was Honda Civic in 1999. At that time, some of the features like power windows or cruise controls were really top of the line. And then you could do more custom upgrades like 6 CD player. So from there on, now coming to the current state of the automobile industry, we are talking about full automation, and all this was a journey over the years where it took small steps to go towards full automation, and most of the the transformations are happening in that way, where incremental step towards experimentation, trying out things, leads to something which is fully automated. So it started with proximity sensors. The car would beep when it gets close to something, and then more advanced capabilities like adaptive cruise control. I know my lane, and it would warn me. Then going to the fully automation state. This example was just to connect the journey for the current Power Apps or the product too, right? How apps are evolving as we started investing into AI capabilities. So we talk about three level of automations using agents. The first one is that humans have assistants, and humans are the primary workers. They ask assistants to help them. For example, rephrase this text to send as a proposal to my customer, right? Or summarize this. So I am using AI to do steps in my flows, but primarily I am doing the work. The second one is human-led agents, where human is in control. They instruct and guide and unblock the agents, but agents, they are leading the whole business process or workflows in our case. And the level 3 would be where agents are leading the work. They are completing most of the business processes, following up with customers, sending them quotes, taking the orders, delivering, and only reaching out to humans when there is a need for somebody to make a decision or human to unblock them. So of course, this is going to be journey. Frontier firms, as we talk about, are the ones which would be on the cutting edge, who are investing, making AI first business processes in their organizations. That's what the picture of business process is going to be looking like. As we go more into agent-led workspaces. Here are some examples of the features which are in the Power Apps. And as I mentioned earlier too, this is the core platform features for Dynamics. So you can go and enable these features. I'll share a document, post this call with Nilesh, which kind of summarizes all the AI features in the platform. How do you enable them? A quick summary with the links to documentation. As multiple of these features are built as part of platform, I would strongly encourage everybody to go and try it out, right? Because they are part of the platform, they are one click enabled. Give it a try. Maybe they just fit your certain business scenarios and can really help accelerate the overall process. So would encourage everybody to take a look at that. The first one is summary agent. So this is a feature where, a lot of time, let's say for account, you want to see what's the quick summary rather than going through multiple tabs and multiple fields and multiple form types even. Admin can go and configure this summary for entity, where they define what are the field of importance which should be shown in the summary, what is the format, bulleted list, flowing text, whatever makes sense for the business. And then when you launch the form or the user launches the form, they see summary on the top of the form, right? It can be collapsed, so it's not always on taking up the real estate. You can expand it and see the summary that way, what is of interest. For example, if we are monitoring accounts and we look at what are their recent purchases, like in this example, you can have this right at one first glance. So this feature received a lot of great feedback. Yes, we don't have to tab and go through multiple fields. Why cannot we have the same summary on the grid too when I'm looking at the account grid, for example, and not the form? It'll be great if you could see the peak of that summary in the grid too. So that's also something which was added post the initial release. So this feature enables you to define the quick summary of record and its child record so that we have a little bit more complete picture, and it is automatically shown to the user on launch of form. And on the grid, there is a small icon which comes up. This icon, you can mouse over as a user and you can see the summary of the record without even opening the form. So this is the summary agent. The next one I'm going to talk about is the chat agent. I'm sure folks are familiar with it. The sales copilot also on the right pane shows up the experiences which are custom tailored for sales to add flows like, prepare me for my upcoming meeting, or, give me the account research. So like whatever contextually makes sense lights up in the sales copilot. This capability is also available on the standalone app. So if it is not a sales app, and let's say you build a custom app in your Dynamics instance, right? Using account and your custom entity or whatever entities, which are not sales entity, lead an opportunity, you will see this platform copilot show up. You can customize this, add your own topics, knowledge, triggers, connectors, a lot of cool stuff you can do in MCS as part of customizing this agent, both in sales and Power Apps. You can like add those capabilities. Once you publish, they become available to your end user. Every app has a dedicated MCS Copilot. So when you customize and do stuff, with the Copilot, it only impacts that particular app. So something to kind of evaluate. It has contextual awareness. So if you have custom entity, you can like type in, maybe like clicking on this view prompts will show up the prompts you want users to ask, or something for which the bot is trained or customized to, and they can click on that and those prompts will be fired. So that's the chat copilot. The next one is the data entry agent. This helps users to fill in the data much more quickly and efficiently into the forms. So by default, for example, you got an email from a customer which said, I want to buy these products. Here are the details, and here is the target purchase date. Here is my budget, things like that. And this email or a document or a chat has the information which human would need to read, find these individual fields and fill them on the form. So what data entry agent does is, first of all, when you launch the form, feature is enabled, you can just control V. If the data is in your clipboard, it will automatically go look at the fields of the form, look at its metadata on what does those fields mean, use LLMs and AI capabilities to extract those values from your clipboard and propose them or add them to the form. The data is never committed, so you are always in control. You can individually accept or reject these fields. So you, like, if you mouse over, you get a cross and yes icon. You can approve all of them in one go, right? And the fields which are correct, you accept them and save. So that way you don't have to go and look at individual individual fields from the text of the email. This feature can also utilize uploading a file. So you can upload a file. This is the form fill bar. When the file is uploaded, it goes and scans the content in the file and proposes the text here, which humans can accept or reject. So that's the data entry agent. Saves a lot of time, especially for the entities where the workflows are fixed. That I get email from my customers for registration into some program, and they have their customer IDs and registration numbers and area of interest and whatnot. So if there is or lead generation, for example, from a roadshow, if there is a lot of templatized content coming in on, let's say there is a form which everybody is filling in for showing interest in buying a bicycle, those kind of flows can be very efficient in utilizing the data entry agent. The next one is data exploration agent. One thing you will notice that all these surfaces like forms and grids are already existing in the product. So the way AI is added to the system is that there is enablement. Of course, admin needs to control and they need to know, when the AI is getting enabled, but they just augment your current flows. So if today you use sales and custom apps within Dynamics, all those flows are gonna survive as it is. AI is just coming in and augmenting and making the experiences richer in the, as we talk about, like, the level one kind of experiences where we enrich the current experiences. As we move towards the next one, which I'll be covering next, these features are just turnkey things which add more capability for the user. So for example, in the grid, you can ask a natural language question, right? Like case assigned to me, created last month, sort by this, right? And you are adding natural language question here. The grid is automatically filtered based upon your natural language query. It shows like what filters it generated from your query. And then if you say like, visualize this as a chart, right? Or visualize this data based upon your data in the grid and filters, or like if you haven't applied and just say visualize, there is a button on the grid which gets added. The chart is created automatically on the fly. So nobody defined this chart on columns and whatnot. It just automatically AI created that based upon that data and showed the best chart which it thought, based upon this data. As a human, you are in the control. You can change the chart type. You can change the axes, pivots, and whatnot to make it your own. And of course, which makes sense for your process. And then save this chart for your next use, right? So this feature essentially just gives your your grids or your data in specific tables ability to converse with them in natural language and generate charts on the flies. I'll move on to the next one, which is the agent feed. So these are like the newer ones where you add autonomous agent using MCS today. We'll expand this to add more agent platforms. And as a human, when you enable the agent feed by adding autonomous agent to your app, you can go and see the activity from all these agents on what are the steps they performed, where do they need help, what entities they updated, right? So this agent feed becomes a single place where you can see all the agent activities grouped by, in what state they are. And this is something we will continue to evolve and make this more and more richer. So as I spoke about the vision earlier of agent feed or the agent hub being a central place for humans to manage the agent, this place is going to get more gravity and usage going forward while we continue to enhance the current flows and provide that opportunity for users and customers to migrate to the newer world, evaluate, test, try out things, and then move here. So we spoke about like the features in the apps for the end users. I also want to quickly touch upon, for completeness on the other aspects of the platform, like Power Apps or the Power Platform is a low-code application building platform, right? So how do you build the makers, the citizen makers, or even the pro makers, I would say, how AI can help them to make the apps more efficiently and of course make much more richer, smarter apps. So I'll be covering this. Nilesh, do you have a quick question? I saw your comment on the phone. Do you want to come off mute and?
Yeah, thanks, Hemant. A couple of quick questions over here, right? So, are these features already available to end users, or will they be coming shortly?
Yes, so they are already available in public preview. I have the slides which kind of shows this. So these features are available. Everything which I showed, you can go and enable them as some of them are in preview, some of them are like already GA, but from availability standpoint, yes, all these features are already there.
And then if so, will they be an additional cost from a licensing perspective, or are they already blended into the current licensing?
That depends from feature to feature. For example, like the chat customization goes to MCS. What I will do is I'll follow up on that and get you more concrete answers, because as I said, like some features are in preview, some are in GA. So for the preview ones, I will have to double click on the cost side of those. But I would say that you can like start evaluating them, and I'll get the like kind of a more detailed answer on where individually they stand in terms of, cost and licensing. Does that work?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And then, I just want to give a quick sense. When I was at PowerCon in Seattle a few months ago, you guys had shown this over there, amazing platform. So I was just checking, you are actually going to show some of these features now, right, Arya?
Yes, absolutely.
Excellent. That should be mind-blowing. Looking forward to it. Thank you.
Cool. So
He-
yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Hemant, we have somebody else with their hand raised. Anirudh,
Yep.
do you want to come off mute and ask your question?
Yeah, hello. So, hello, guys. The thing is similar to the Copilot Assistant as Studio. Like I came across regarding the how to build up this tool. So I recently built a tool related to this actually. It's an AI computer to market analysis. So I've built a backend for this one as an AI agent using a Landflow and OpenAI using the API. So and I also integrate with the Tably, which is a tool which is used for the web extraction that improves analysis and the accuracy and the speed for that one. So the thing is, this is related to the Copilot Studio, and also I have integrated with the front end for the V0. I created internet to dashboard for them as a manual competitor research time, reducing the manual work like 70% of it. So does this related to the Copilot Assistant? I just want to get on thought on that actually.
It can be like, it depends upon like how you have developed it, like MCS, for example, like support MCP, and you can integrate it in Copilot, for the sales by customizing it, and it will start showing up in the sales Copilot. There is also support for PCF Copilot API, which enables, I don't know, are you familiar with PCF?
No, sir. No.
So PCF is a way where you can add your custom UX inside Power Apps or Dynamics. So you can create your own controls, right? Like my Gantt chart control or my slider control or my summary control with this button or calendar scheduling control. You are in full control of building React, Fluent, whatever technology you want, and put in the control. And it gives you like the APIs to interact with the system. We recently announced the support for Copilot APIs, where programmatically, like PCF gives you a way to add UI to the system. Copilot API gives you programmatic way to call AI. So like if you plug it to MCS through MCP, you can utilize your services and bring this, the component you are mentioning organically into the app. Maybe we can have like offline discussion on this one. I would love to learn more, but I do see like, there is a way to kind of organically, based upon my limited knowledge as of now, but I do see like how custom models can be brought in. Actually, we have few customers who have done their custom modeling, for example, doing a SWOT analysis on the project and, using AI to do that and surfacing that back into app. So I can share some patterns with you and then you can analyze and see if it works for your use case.
Thank you.
Does that help? Cool. And then, search me up on the LinkedIn. I posted a bunch of content around customization and PCF. I was the PM for PCF also a few years ago. You can get in touch with me there and I'll follow up. Cool. So I was talking about, the experience on how do you manage the agent. This is the place, right? This is going to evolve very fast as we, really focus on this space where agents are doing the work and humans are monitoring it, right? So many of these artifacts on how human in the loop interaction is going to work, how do agents escalate, is going to evolve very quickly. I look for feedback, from you guys as you try your agents. Do reach out to me for this piece. Agent oversight. Let me know what works, what doesn't, right? This feature is already out there. So if you add a agent, you can see the agent feed out there. It's not super mature, of course. It's V1, so I will just say that beforehand. But I'm super keen to hear more on that and kind of get to those experiences, which would really help managing these agents. Be really more efficient. So continuing, in-app agent, we spoke about data entry, data exploration, summarization, agent flow. For completeness, this is the place, which shows all the agents in there. The second part was how do you build the app? I don't know how many of you guys online and the folks who will be watching recording have actually built the apps. Building model apps sort of was like, easy thing to get a simple app with tables and grids, very easy, straightforward. I would say even straightforward than Canvas app. But anytime you have to customize the UX and the PCF and web resources come into picture, it's super technical, super hard, right? It's not for faint heart, I would say. We really needed people, pro devs, to kind of focus on it. It is like PCF gallery is a place where hundreds of controls are there shared by community, so it has its own fan base. And of course, like I am one of the top supporters for PCF, but it was a difficult experience, to be honest, right? It required pro dev and good level of understanding on how dynamics work to make those things work. So towards that, Plan Designer, it's a feature. If you go to like make.powerapps.com on your browsers, you will see a Plan Designer now. Instead of like create a new model app, new Canvas app, this is the feature which is in GA. All it does is that you need to explain your business problem in natural language. Then all these different agents go analyze the problem and propose a solution for it. What roles would be required? What are the requirements? What tables would be needed? What schema, solution, architecture, GenUX? I would say it's magical. If you haven't tried it, definitely give it a shot. This is what the experience looks like, right? You go to make.powerapps.com and just type in like, here is my business problem. I want to create an event management app and whatnot, right? It starts with, these are the user requirements. This is what I think are the right roles, a branch manager, whatever roles it might think. At every step, you can thumbs up, say it looks good. You can click on add it, tell the system in natural language, no, I need this one more role to manage stuff, right? And step by step, as you progress, using just clicks and natural language, it will generate the tables for you. It will show the table schema. It will populate the sample data into the table. It will show the relationship. You can alter the relationship. You can tell it in natural language, go add event ID column to events table. It will do stuff like that, right? And as you progress, it will take you all the way to the technology, what it takes to build that solution for that business problem, from Power Apps to flows to Power BI to agents, right? All those things will be proposed and created by this Plan Designer flow. So I would say this is like a great thing to try it out. It just like enables you, everybody, to build the app. Now you don't need to know a lot of nuances on like what's going on. How do I create tables, or how do I create apps, drag and drop form control, do stuff? Nothing, right? Just type in there, look at like what humans would review as part of the process. And then you get the app there. Once the apps are built, of course, you can, like while building the app, you can give the natural language feedback to tune it and tweak it and whatnot, schemas and rest of the artifacts generated there. End of the day, the fully governed managed Power Platform app is generated. You can go into the designer and do the stuff which cannot be done here, right? So like whatever you generate is not like branched off onto a different technology. Fundamentally, it's like building on the same stack. So you can go, it just accelerates stuff so much, right? Something which would take like maybe a week or few hours, even for an expert to design a system, come up with schema, create the roles, blah, blah, create the app. Within natural language, right? 3-5 minutes, you will be able to like publish the app and see it. So try it out. It's in GA. It's lending experience on make.powerapps.com. So definitely would encourage people to try that out. This is also another very, very powerful feature. I'm especially excited for this one is because it gives the model apps, your sales and dynamics apps, right, which are on the model side, not on the Canvas app side, ability to create a page using natural language, something which would require web resources or PCF developers and a lot of time and skills to develop. Here, what you are seeing is that there was a natural language description given to the page here. On what do I want, you can add what tables it should access for doing, sales order, for example, right? And you can add image. In this case, this image was added, which was a whiteboard image. It would like go through all the requirements, generate the code, show the code to you, and generate a fully functional page in the model-driven app. So today in your sales app, You can add a page, like show me the page which has all the opportunities with blue and multicolor background. Clicking on that, it should flip it. I should see, whatever the revenue on the top. If it is less than 100,000, make it red. Just play with it, right? This is like super, super powerful. I don't know, Jason, if he's still on the call. Jason Green, he's my colleague. He was the PM for this super amazing feature. So if you have any questions on what's going on latest, Jason Green is the person, but this is also something like which just lets you build any page. Think of a style, put it in, build me a chart, right? Add these images, just think of it, and the page will build it, and then you can like continue to have a dialogue with the page, right? Like the background doesn't look good, make it green, add a chart, or do something else, right? So people have published like a lot of great stuff. Reza Dorani, I don't know if you guys follow him or not. He's like a YouTube and community star. He's with Microsoft PowerCat team. He has published bunch of videos on these generative pages with bunch of samples. So it'll be like worthwhile to watch what he's doing, because like you'll get new ideas. And just think of it, right? Like if you think some experience in your like sales app or whatever app today is not like best suited for forms and grid, give it a try, right? Maybe like you can just build a page directly with it, publish it, and the page is within your app. In the sitemap, like our forms and grid, awesome capability, I would say. Give it a try. So I think that's what Dilesh was also like alluding towards. Plan Designer, generative pages, definitely, a lot of magic there. There's also one more feature which is right now in early access, which is teaching mode. So form fill I spoke about, right? It will process the forms and enter the fields. What if it is not able to like, do my custom business logic like you just show in this video where I uploaded a document and I say like using this file, fill in the form. It fills the form, and there is customer ID which has this suffix customer before the number, right? And because in my system I want to remove the prefix, what all you will do is makers will see this button to teach the form. They will drag the form. Because it's in teaching mode, you will remove what you need to do and save it. That's it. System will remember, and it will be taught on how to do the things. And then from there on, whenever users use like the similar forms on or similar data on these forms, it will automatically be part of the system. So that was how you build. Last part, how you govern. Super critical piece of the platform, being in like a managed environment where you can control as an IT admin. I would say this is like the top ask from a lot of customers we talk to during ABCs or conferences, that like how do I know what is happening with AI and my data is not leaking, or what is AI doing, and like a lot of those admin controls. That's something which is natively supported by Power Platform, and we are like evolving and iterating very quickly on these ones. It covers all the 4 pillars from security, governance, operations, and availability. There is a new admin center, which is green. Sometimes we call it green admin center. It gives you like full insight into like what is happening with governance and all the 4 pillars I mentioned. For example, in this case, it's showing some alerts to the user, which says that, your app interactive time is 8 seconds. This app is like having high usage, but it takes so much time before user can even start it. Here is the trend for that, right? And insights like, my form fill, how is it performing with my user? Accuracy is going down, up. You can see a lot of insights in this admin center as an admin, and control and enable and disable different features and capabilities. So this is one single place for IT admins to kind of manage and govern the apps. That was my last slide. I have some time for, I don't know, let me ask Dilesh, like, do we have a few minutes for Q&A? I can take some questions if we have.
I really, appreciated the demos and the potentials that you think, we can do over here. Luckily for us, we were able to tap into the early access program also and get some of our hands up in there. So when I was just, I think, one of the smallest parties, I've seen some of the other people in that program do some amazing stuff over there. So good stuff. I think, the team that's working behind it, you and Jason team, they're very responsive, very open to feedback and improving the product regularly. So I'm expecting this platform to just keep growing better and better with this usage over here. Definitely love the planner part. Just like any other Copilot, you ask and it builds for you, right? So life cannot be more simplified than this at this point. Not sure if you actually met Lou Gucciardo. Lou Gucciardo and I go back almost 15 years now. Lou's from the New York office. We used to run quite a show together in the SharePoint, early days, and now and Lou's been doing BizApp for almost 7 to 8 years. So you guys are both from the same company. But Lou, did you have any feedback or comments on what you've seen, or maybe did you already get your hands dirty on this technology before?
Yeah, no, we do this all the time out in the field. I work with customers and help them build these types of applications. And state of the art is changing very, very quickly. I'm amazed at what we can do now with low code and how much it's just changed in the last 6 months. We're actually building with a client a factory agent. And it's not only doing generative AI, but it's using Microsoft Fabric and using the Fabric agent and taking data. So data that's coming from machines that create the product. And so an operator can go and say, I've got these settings on the machine and something's not right. Can you help me fix it? So it looks up the data settings. It looks at what we call RCAs, or these are reports that they'll file in manufacturing when something goes wrong. Very similar to what we do in Azure, right? You can have an RCA, a root cause analysis. And then it'll actually look up the instructions on how to fix the machine and bring those all together. And this is all done with Copilot Studio and Power Apps and by a quality control engineer, not an IT guy.
Nice. That's
So
amazing.
it really is amazing because, and something that we've been proponents of for years. If you can bring the development of the solution closer to the knowledge, you're going to get a much better product. And to be able to do that at that level, I've never seen that before. And I think we're going to see a lot more of it.
That's a very wise saying. Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah. For me, last 8-9 months, my job primarily has been on AI adoption with customers. So I've done product for a very long time, but I think that's something we realize too, that enabling customers and partners do what they need to, knowing the business and knowledge, as you said, that's what brings transformation. So while we continue to build features, I think that remains to be our core focus, especially with the newer charters of agent oversight. Let's stay in touch. Keep me posted on the developments where you need help, but and same for Nilesh and your team too. Whenever you need a specialist from the domain, I'll get you the right PM. We are always eager to listen to the feedback, because enabling customer just help us enable things at scale, right, in the product. Otherwise, it's super hard to kind of get that tailored solution. So and then one last thing I wanted to say, I shared the file, I think Nilesh, already with you on enabling some of these features. So whatever is the right channel, you can share it with rest of the folks who want try out these features, and then we can take it from there.
Absolutely. Well, one last question before I let you go, if you don't mind. As we build these solutions, the world is getting connected across different platforms and different third-party engagement, right? So if I want to connect with Salesforce, if I want to connect with AWS or Google or something, leveraging this platform with your AI, does it actually have connectors or knowledge of how to connect with external platforms and kind of automatically understand the kind of data flow that has to go back and forth between these platforms? Or would that still be a lot of manual work in terms of, I need to know, let's say if I was working with AWS for some reason, right? And if I said I wanted to work with one of the special modules, would it already automatically understand the kind of information that I have to go back and forth there?
So I think this is a very broad question, but what the comment I would make is that as we are building these experiences for agent oversight, or we look at type of agent platforms we support, MCS, Azure AI Foundry, Semantic Kernel, right, Anthropic and whatnot. So we things are being targeted and designed in a very very open fashion. Same for like Salesforce or CRM as a backend. So I would say like we will get there, and I see a lot of intention and discussions to kind of make it agnostic and not stitch ourselves or stick ourselves to like specific technologies. Maybe from ClickStop perspective, like version 1 is like very Dynamics friendly, because of course Dynamics is like our core platform where we build. But there is a clear intention and roadmap that we want to make it extendable. We want people to bring in their own AI models, their own AI solutions, and plug it into what we are building. I think that's where I see the investments right now. Lou, you want to add anything there? How do you?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So it's evolving. So we do have connectors, and the connectors work very well, but it requires domain knowledge in the other system. So as an example with SAP, you really need to understand what the schema is in SAP. And that's kind of evolving into MCP servers, which kind of understand the APIs of the existing systems. So you can use AI to ask questions, it understands the API, and it'll come back. And we've done some really cool examples, like what you were showing before about ingesting an order and putting that order in the system. But with MCP, because it understands the API, if that document didn't have the invoice number, it would come back and say, hey, guy, you don't have the invoice number, help me. So it's almost self-healing. And now that's even evolving into something new, which this is something we're working on with that same factory assistant, agent-to-agent communication. So one agent doesn't know the answer, it can communicate to other agents. And this can potentially go across systems. There is discussion with SAP as an example to have Microsoft Copilot be able to talk to SAP Joule. So if you're asking a question of SAP, Copilot can then say, well, that's not for me. I'm going to go ask Joule. And Joule is the SAP Copilot. And Joule's going to come back and give me the answer. So it's really evolving. But I don't think we're going to be in a connector world much more. I think it's going to change. And it's either going to be those intelligent MCP servers, or it's going to just be agent to agent.
100%, yeah. I actually today morning only one of the our partners through Lighthouse showed the demo of using MCP to connect to a through an agent to a different system. But yes, looks like that's where the industry is gonna go, and probably connectors would be like organically either like replaced by MCP and into a. But yes, that's a good insight.
I'm happy that we are finally inside the matrix now. With all the agents. But thank you so much, Hemant and Lou. Those were very interesting sessions, good information shared. Just as a reminder for everybody, this session was recorded and will be posted on different medias out there with Microsoft's blessings. But thanks again, Hemant and Lou. This was very insightful, and we look forward to growing this community, sharing more and more information like this, and helping people do more with the Microsoft stack as always.
Great. Thanks for having us. See you next time.
Thank you, guys. Yep. Thank you.